Coming up, Max Scherzer gets a win in his Rangers debut. This is Locked On Game to Game MLB.
Every game, every team, every angle. Locked On Game to Game, your team every day.
Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Game to Game MLB. Local experts join us. Then we recap all the action for you from yesterday across Major League Baseball. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. The Phillies never trailed in Miami yesterday, and they took 3 out of 4 from the Marlins to help their playoff chances. Locked On Phillies goes over Thursday's win.
Well, there you have it. The Philadelphia Phillies have taken 3 of 4 from the Miami Marlins. Connor Thomas, your host of Locked On Phillies. And what a debut in a Phillies uniform by Michael Lorenzen. He goes 8 full innings, absolutely dominant today against the Marlins. He gives up 2 runs, but you'll take 2 runs in 8 innings pitched anytime, especially when the bullpen's been taxed the way it is. If you get that from him down the stretch, the Phillies are going to be in really good shape come playoffs. They even up the season series with the Marlins, which is huge for a potential tiebreaker in the future. And it was just really great work by the Phillies to battle back after a rough loss last night. I know, it wasn't a great road trip. And guess what? They still come out 4-3 on the road trip, and they're heading back home for a very easy stretch of the schedule. Kansas City, Washington, Minnesota, all winnable series. A couple of sweepable series in there too. Yes, the Phillies, they might be back on track. Hopefully we have consistency. We'll talk more on the next episode of Locked On Phillies.
The Reds were hoping to get some revenge on Thursday after Chicago scored a combined 36 runs in the last 2 games of their series. Our Locked On hosts tell you what went down in the series finale between the 2 NL Central teams.
Cincinnati Reds lost their 3rd straight game to the Chicago Cubs, and this 3rd one might have actually been the most frustrating of the 3. What's up? This is Giancarlo from the Locked On Reds podcast. And yeah, they gave up 20 runs to the Cubs 2 days ago. They gave up 16 runs to them yesterday. But it was today's game in which Luke Weaver walked in 2 runs himself, and the Reds had multiple opportunities with guys in scoring position and either no outs or 1 out, and they just couldn't capitalize for whatever reason. Jameson Taillon has had a rough year on the mound. He gets out of this game only allowing a couple of runs, and it really felt like the Reds should have blown the doors off this. They ended the road trip with a 4-6 record. It could have been 5-5. They could have been in first place. It feels like they were ready to come home. So hopefully they make some hay when they get back home.
Both the Mariners and the Angels have wildcard hopes, but they also have some work to do before they're in position to play in October. After their matchup last night, our Locked On hosts have the recap.
Not the game you want to lose or the way you want to lose. Hey everybody, it's Mike Frisch, one half of Locked On Angels. The Angels lose Thursday night 5-3 to the Seattle Mariners, and they were up 3-1 in this game. And then Carlos Estevez blew his first save of the year in the 9th inning, giving up a grand slam. And listen, not much to complain about. The guy has been really great this year, but this is why we have him. This is the game that we need him to come through. He wasn't throwing strikes when he first came in and ended up giving up a grand slam to lose the game. And it was on the heels of Shohei's 40th home run and the bullpen really stepping up when Shohei had to leave as a pitcher because he had cramping in his hands and in his fingers. This is a game you got to win. And so the Angels got to get the next 3. I don't think you have a choice. You can't continue to lose games like this. And John and I are going to talk all about the Angels and all about this series on Locked On Angels. We hope you'll join us.
Coming up, the Yankees hold off the Astros in the Bronx. This is Locked On Game to Game MLB. This episode of Locked On Game to Game is brought to you by eBay Motors. A championship team is about each player being a perfect fit. So same thing with your vehicle. For parts that fit, head to ebaymotors.com and look for the green check. Stay in the game with eBay Guaranteed Fit. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Welcome back. You're listening to Locked On Game to Game MLB. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. The Astros lost a close one to the Yankees Thursday night. Locked On Astros takes you through the keys to a 1-run defeat.
Hey there, H-Town Wellhouse here with Locked On Astros, and the Astros fall to the Yankees 4-3. The Yankees win the first game of the 4-game set. Javier did not look good in the beginning. He settled down. Did only give up the 3 runs initially. They got a 4th run later on. When it was 3-2 Yankees, Kyle Tucker tied it up with a home run. But then the bats just weren't working. Jeremy Pena had 2 perfect opportunities with runners in scoring position to bring guys home. Did not do that. You look at their 1 through 5 hitters. Jeremy Pena's got the lowest OPS out of those guys. maybe he doesn't need to be in the 2-hole right now. And Diaz coming in late, trying to play hero, it's tough. When coming off the bench late in the game to get an at-bat to contribute. Marty Maldonado contributed with 3 hits, but nobody really helped him out once he got on base. Tough loss for the Astros, but they got 3 more. They can still win the series. Stay tuned in to Locked On Astros. Remember, we're your team every day. Go Stros.
The Yankees beat the Astros. I know, I can't believe it either. This is Stacey Gotsoulias of Locked On Yankees, and the Yankees beat the Astros 4-3 at the stadium in the first game of a 4-game set. Clark Schmidt lasts 5 innings, holds the Astros to 2 runs. The Yankees were up 3-0 to start. Bottom of the first, actually. They got off really quick. Giancarlo Stanton hit a 2-run home run, his second home run in as many nights, and Billy McKinney went back-to-back with Giancarlo Stanton, just like the Yankees drew it up in spring training. Obviously, that's a joke, because Billy McKinney wasn't even around in spring training. The Yankees are 6-0 when Billy McKinney hits a home run. So now you know. If Billy McKinney hits a home run, expect the Yankees to win the game. So we talk about the game, we talk about the Anthony Rizzo news, and we preview the rest of the series. Again, it's a 4-game set with the Astros, and should be an interesting one this weekend.
Only 1 run was scored between the Diamondbacks and the Giants on Thursday. Our Locked On hosts go over how the pitchers' duel played out in San Francisco.
This is how I'm watching games for the rest of 2023 because I just can't do it anymore. Miller Thomas of Locked On Diamondbacks here. The D-backs lost their 3rd straight game to the San Francisco Giants. They've lost 3 out of 4 in that series to the Giants, and D-backs continue to free fall and spiral down the standings. They are now just 4 games above 500 against the Giants. They were 0 for 5 runners in scoring position, and the worst part is Brandon Pfaadt, their rookie pitcher, best pitching prospect in their system. He has been struggling all years. He's been giving up home runs pretty much more than any other pitcher in baseball in terms of rate. He gave up another solo home run in this game against the Giants, but 7 innings, a bunch of strikeouts, only the 1 solo shot, 1 earned run. It was the best start of the season for Pfaadt. Unfortunately, the D-backs offense couldn't bail him out, and the D-backs continue to struggle, and I don't know if they're going to make it to the postseason. It's not feeling good right now. Hopefully the D-backs can get back on track in their next series, but I'm not feeling too confident about it.
The Pirates are definitely trying to play spoiler this weekend, playing a 4-game series against the Brewers as they sit in the middle of the division race in the NL Central. A lot on the line between the division rivals. Our Locked On hosts take you through Game 1.
Hi, everybody. Chuck Freeman back here at AmFam Field. We'll be dropping Locked On Brewers a little bit later on. The Brewers a season high in runs in a 14-1 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates. The middle innings, the Brewers really put this one out of reach. Bryce Terang, a 3-run blast, made it 8-1. And then shortly thereafter, Sal Frelick, another home run for him, a 3-run blast, made it 11-1. And everybody really contributed. Christian Yelich had 3 base hits, got him with a walk to start this game, and that really kind of got things going for these guys. And as Frelick said after the game, players were just diving at that bat rack looking to get an at-bat tonight because everybody, it was in the air tonight. Offense was in the air. Can't say that much about the Brewers this year, but Hauser goes the first 6, the offense explodes, and the Brewers are back in first place in the NL Central. We'll talk more on Locked On Brewers.
The Cardinals could not come back from an early deficit. They lost to the Twins last night. Locked On Cardinals has the details after falling to the AL Central leaders.
The Twins struck out just 4 times in a 5-3 win at Busch Stadium on Thursday. Twins wrap up a road trip 2-4, take 2 of 3 from the Cardinals. Certainly not a great swing through Missouri, but it'll do for now. Twins come back home and have 3 with the Diamondbacks over the weekend. As for this one, Sonny Gray was solid, 7 innings, 77 pitches, 8 strikeouts, just a solid job overall. And the Twins poked 2 home runs off Cardinal starter Matthew Liberatore in the second inning, a 2-run homer by Michael A. Taylor and a 2-run homer by Ryan Jeffers. The Taylor homer was especially interesting because, and here's the stat you won't hear anywhere else, that was the first Twins home run on a 3-0 pitch all season long. The Twins did it twice last year, Byron Buxton on May 5th, and then finally the most recent, Gary Sanchez on September 24th of last year against the Angels. This is
The Cardinals have one regrettable inning as they lose to the Minnesota Twins. Hey, it's Shady from Locked On Cardinals, and Matthew Liberatore got the ball tonight for St. Louis against perhaps future Cardinal Sonny Gray. Hey, could happen in the offseason. They're going to need somebody to fill out this rotation. Speaking of next year, the Cardinals are giving Libby these final 2 months to kind of show him what he's got, and hopefully it's enough for the former first-round pick to compete for one of those rotation spots next season. One really bad inning. Second inning tonight was the difference, where he walked the leadoff hitter, which is a big no-no, then gave up a 2-run jack, then a double, then another 2-run jack to Michael Taylor, who he fell behind 3-0, and he deposited one in Big Mac land. Boom, 4-0 hole that the team would never fully climb out of. That's 5 runs on 6 hits, 2 walks, 2 home runs, only 1 strikeout in 5 2/3 innings for Matthew Liberatore. Not a great start to the audition. For the latest updates and info, be sure to keep it Locked On Cardinals.
That's it for this edition of Locked On Game to Game MLB. We thank you for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. Trade deadline is behind us, so now as the teams get ready to make that push for the playoffs, make sure you're subscribed to Locked On MLB and your favorite team's Locked On podcast on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts from. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On Game to Game.